What's up, zoners? This is Tyler, Big Third Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard youth will coming at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy Red Zone. Today, man, we got our streamers for each position. One guy that should be available on your waiver wire, all right? 11% owned, 18% owned. We got some shit going on here, all right? We also have our plays and our pauses. Pay no heed to last week's pauses. It's okay. Act like that never happened, all right? But we got our new plays, our new pauses, the people that we really believe in, the people that we don't, all right? So stick around for that. We also have the news. There's tons of breaking news, man, going on right now. It's the end of the season. We playoff push, Jason. This is the last week. Score as many points as you can. Let the dice fall as they may.
Yep. Yeah, sorry.
That's what I'm telling myself. I'm like, all right, Tyler, just score as many points as possible, man. Put it all out in the field here. Anyways, hey, Jason, this show needs help, all right? This show needs help. We need likes. We need subscribers, dog. Tell the public how they can help this show.
If you made it this far and enjoyed two friends talking about fantasy football, then please hit the subscribe, press the like. We like the likes. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you think about our player pause. If you have any starter say questions, let us know in the comments. We get back to you. We're also on the radio and Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And then, you know what? If you're feeling friendly, it is the holidays, Tyler. We have a Patreon.
Hey, yeah, number one way to get us to get more content out of us is Patreon. The other way is, hey, like and subscribe. Let's get this thing big, and then maybe we can spend some more time doing research. I already do this all the time, man. But it'd be nice to be able to do videos earlier, you know, day of type of stuff.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Jason, let's get into the news. Ravens suspend Deontay Johnson for not wanting to play. Now they're looking for wide receiver help, and I was just thinking, dude, everybody praises the Steelers for getting all these. How do they get so much wide receiver talent? Dude, they get all these psychopaths, all right? Nobody wants to deal with them. Antonio Brown hits, and they're like, oh, dude, George Pickens? Juju Smith-Schuster was actually normal, the only normal one, all right? So, yeah, George Pickens falls in this category, man. And who was the other guy? Chase Claypool? Bunch of psychopaths over there, Jason. That's why they get them all. So, yeah. Anyways, all the other coaches know not to get these players.
What is the deal with Johnson? Like, I read that he's getting suspended because they told him to go into the game, and he said no. Like,
well, that's it.
Like, so he didn't even want to play?
Well, it's like, dude, you're already getting paid, man. It's like, come on. So I
would play. Yeah, I would want to play.
And it's like, and this is not going to help any future situation for you when you're already doing this shit. Yeah. You're not gonna, nobody's going to give you more money on another team, trade for you, whatever. And then here we go, Jason. Antonio Pierce keeps on talking about Sincere McCormick, and he said he's making the most out of his opportunities. We're going to keep on giving him. He said he had 12 carries last week. Hopefully we can bump that up this week. So look for Sincere McCormick to fill out maybe a running back 2 this week.
Yeah, he looks good when he's running the ball. Any word on Madison or White?
I think I saw that Zamir White is actually projected points again. Madison, no. So I'm just going off of ESPN projections right now. But yeah, it was pretty much Zamir was going to play, Madison not.
Do you think if White plays, it'll be like a 3-headed backfield?
Madison has been way more productive than White. So I would think that they're going to give the keys to Sincere unless Madison plays, and it might be more of a 50-50.
Right, yeah.
And then, hey, man, Trevor Lawrence to IR. So, yeah, you saw Matt Jones come in and actually play just as good as Trevor Lawrence ever has. So, really, who cares? I mean, I care. It sucks for Trevor Lawrence. But as far as productivity, it's going to be the same.
Do you know what IR stands for?
Injured reserve.
It means I regret saying you should pick this guy up in the 18th round in your fantasy draft.
Like, Trevor Lawrence is going in the 14th round? Holy shit.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's going that late. He was quarterback 5 over the last X amount of games.
I regret ever saying that.
Jeff Ulbrich says it's too early for the Jets to know if Breece Hall will be active on Sunday. He will not practice today. We're shooting this on a Wednesday night. So go pick up Braylon Allen if available in your league, Jason.
Yeah, if this is something that most of you guys were on top of last week, you might already have Braylon Allen.
And I would rather start Braylon Allen over Sincere McCormick if Breece Hall does not play, Jason.
God, dude, Braylon Allen. I wish that guy was like my family member or something. He looks so cool. He looks so cool, dude. I want to play football with him on Thursdays in the backyard. I don't know. He just looks cool to me, man. I like him.
Like I see a picture of him, he looks like a young kid. Look at me,
Like,
I'm getting old, dude.
he's like, I don't know, man. He just like, he breathes football. He looks like it's football. I don't know.
That's how I felt about CJ Stroud. I really started to like CJ Stroud in the offseason because him and Micah Parsons on that podcast.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, they breathe football. I understand what you're saying now. I get it. I get what you're saying now, Jason.
Yeah.
Drew Lock, Jason, to start again this week versus New Orleans. Malik Neighbors got targeted in the second half. Tracy Jr., man, got 50% everything. So, yeah, I'm not too pumped about Drew Lock. I almost would have rather had Tommy DeVito start. I don't know. They both suck, man.
Yeah, it was crazy because we were like, oh, Drew Luck's on the team. He would probably be an upgrade from Danny DeVito. I don't know if he was an upgrade, man.
He was terrible. He had no yards like in the first half. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then let's see, Dobbs out for Thursday night, so Jaden Reed, maybe Dontavian Wicks might be a factor. You cannot run on the Lions; they're gonna have to pass the ball a lot. So, and then Jason Lad McConkey was limited participant in practice today. It's a Wednesday. He is injured. This is usually Dude's Day. You don't practice on Wednesday anyways. So I think that this is a good sign, man, for Lad McConkey to play this week. And I forget who he's going against. It's not Seattle. I can't remember. But hey, he is already getting compared, Jason, to Amon-Ra Brown, rookie season 2021. And that's when he won everybody championships and just went off, dude. 15 catches, 15 targets every single game for the last 5 games.
Well, we talk about it all the time. Rookies, they do better at the end of the year. And the bad thing is, Tyler, I heard it was an AC joint in his shoulder, and those usually are not good.
That was a knee issue, dog.
It's a knee and a shoulder. 2 pieces of the body.
No, you're right. I remember them saying it was a shoulder because he's like, yeah, he was busy shouldering the load, man. Okay. And then Sauce Gardner, this is huge, Jason, might miss this week versus Miami with a hamstring injury. So Tyreek Hill, man? Tyreek Hill? Huh?
Oh, that kind of hurts me a little bit.
Oh, it hurts you.
Damn, okay.
Okay. All right, man. So, Sauce Gardner, ever since week 7, whenever they fired their coach, they have not been that great. But he is still a good cornerback. You have to pay attention to those matchups. And then, Jason, here we go. Streamers. Speaking of matchups, this is usually where I say something about R. Kelly. Streamers.
And you still did.
When I said that, Jason, I knew what I was saying. I was like, we're going to get demonetized. Whatever, dude, you going to take 30 cents away from the show? Huh? Fuck you.
Break the
all right, man. Stream, Jason. I talked about this. I'm going to go down the list. I was going to start with quarterbacks, but I don't care. All right, so Brandin Cooks, 11% owned versus Cincinnati. Over and under, Jason, at 49.5. If you get to 50, that's amazing. High 40s is second highest on the week or something like that. Everybody knows about Cincinnati, man. Allowing the second most reception touchdowns over the last 3 games. 3 touchdowns per game, Jason. Allowing the most most receiving yards over the last 3 games at 327, dude. So 3 touchdowns a game, 327 passing yards a game over the last 3 games. That's fucking crazy. And then here we go. Brandin Cooks has the 4th best wide receiver cornerback matchup versus Cam Taylor-Britt, 0.39. Lamb has the 4th worst cornerback wide receiver matchup. So Lamb is going to be matched up 50% of the time with one of the best cornerbacks in the league, Jason. Cincinnati slot cornerback is really good. He even held down JSN a little bit. So, yeah, dude. And then let's see, in last week, dude, he had a 19.4% target share and scored in his first game back. So I actually like Brandin Cooks versus Cincinnati this week. I think he's going to get a touchdown.
You said he scored a touchdown last week, right?
Yeah, and he had almost a 20% target share. And now, this is the best matchup, and the hyper-targeted wide receiver on this team literally has one of the best slot cornerback in the league going against him. But again, he's only in the slot. CeeDee Lamb's only in the slot 50% of the time.
Yeah. The thing about this is that Rush has been throwing the shit out of the ball, surprisingly. I'm surprised they're letting him do that, but he's throwing it to 3 people. Well, he was throwing to 2, but apparently he's throwing to 3 now, and it was CeeDee Lamb. It was oh my god, Shoemaker. And then now Brandin Cooks, you're telling me. So 40 attempts, 10 targets each to all 3 of them. Yeah.
And then Jason, as far as a running back goes, just remember there is Sincere McCormick is a pretty safe bet. And then, hey, man, Braylon Allen, if he ends up, getting the start, will be huge. But I'm going with Isaac Guerendo. Jason, he's already 65% owned. So I'm supposed to go with people under 50%. But it's running back, dude. You can't, there's no running backs worth starting. Versus Chicago, over and under at 43.5. That's not that great. But hey, man, Mason CMC out. I'm already hearing about Jordan Mason going to the Vikings next year. Please. Chicago allowing the 9th most rushing yards per game over the last 3, 141. They're allowing the 7th most rushing attempts over the last 3. And I've talked about this. You have to run the ball against Chicago because their secondary is so good. And just like, so the 7th most attempts makes sense. And then let's see, dude, Isaac Guerendo has only had 10 plus carries twice this year in his whole career because he's a rookie. He went 10 for 99, if you remember that, like 72-yard run. And then I think he might have had more of a start this one time, 14 for 85 yards and a touchdown, Jason, versus Dallas. And the important thing here is that he had 4 targets in that game. So he's going to have to fill out the CMC role. Somebody's going to be catching the ball, man. Jordan Mason wasn't catching the ball. They would bring in a third down back. So Isaac Guerendo has a chance to be, 80% of CMC.
Yeah, I agree. And we'll talk about it a little bit more later.
And then Jason, tight end. I know this sucks, dude, but hey, not a lot of great matchups for tight ends. Like, dude, if the Giants tight end wasn't on IR and he get injured this last week, he would have the best matchup. But Will Dissly, all right, 30% owned. I know we keep on talking about Will Dissly. He had that one. He only got targeted like once or twice last game, but before that, he was getting the targets. And now he gets Kansas City all season long. You've wanted to stream against Kansas City because their cornerbacks, they have some of the best cornerbacks on the outside. I think the best cornerback in the league right now, Jason, is not even their bet. It's not the McCormick guy or McMillan or some guy with an M. It's a different guy. Watson, I think.
Are you talking about McDuffie? It's not McDuffie.
So it's not McDuffie. McDuffie's actually one of the best cornerbacks, and it's not even him that's the best. So they got rid of L'Jarius Sneed, and it's like he's still there. So yeah, dude, you have to throw the tight end there, Jason. Will Dissly, 42.5 over and under it. I don't like that. But Ladd limited. Quentin Johnson can't catch. Kansas City allowing 6 touchdowns from tight ends this year. That's the 5th most. Dude, the Ravens are allowing 12. I think, and the Saints are allowing 11. I cannot believe how many touchdowns the Ravens are allowing to tight ends. It's fucking crazy. And then Kansas City, though, this is where all the points come from, Jason, is allowing the most reception yards to tight ends this year at 1,050. So if a tight end was just going against Kansas City every week, he'd be a 1,000-yard receiver already. That shit's crazy, dude. So 144 targets. So they're leading the league in targets, versus tight end, all that stuff, dude. So tight ends are just used so much against Kansas City. Justin Herbert needs to throw the ball to somebody, man. Ladd is banged up. So I'm seeing Will Dissly actually be a really great start this week.
Dude, that guy you were talking about, Joshua Williams.
Yeah, that's what it is.
0.11 fantasy points per route run. That's insane.
And I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I was like, I've never even heard of this guy.
Oh, did I go to school with this guy? Who's he? I want to know who he is.
I was like, dude, I wish I played with Chris Jones, and
right.
And what's his name? The Spags. So,
yeah.
But yeah, dude. So Will Dissly should be a great start. And then lastly, Jason, you've talked about this for weeks. Will Levis, Jason, 18% owned right now versus Jacksonville. And in just like Kansas City, you stream tight ends. Jacksonville, you've been streaming quarterbacks all season long, man. And dude, Levis 16 plus fantasy points over the last 4 weeks since returning from injury. So it's mostly been like 19 points, 18 points, and then 16 points. So, but I had to say 16 plus. Then Jacksonville gives it up, man. And I will go more into detail in Jacksonville defense later.
I am starting Will Levis this week.
In your team?
Yeah.
On your real team?
Yes.
Oh, because Jaden Daniels on bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No problem there. All right, guys, let's start with the pause. So we end with some positivity. I know that doesn't make sense, counterintuitive. But hey, Jason, let's get into a quarterback I want to pause this week.
Geno Smith.
Yeah.
So PFF also had this guy last week. Said ice him out of your lineups. He only got 12 points. We're going to stick with it, okay? Pause quarterback 12, Geno Smith. As quarterback 12, Tyler, he only has 13 touchdowns, but 12 interceptions on the year. He is on pace to finish with under 20 passing touchdowns this season.
Damn.
He does throw the ball a lot. He is second in pass attempts, but with all those pass attempts, he leads the league in interceptable passes. part of his issue is he struggles with pressure. Seattle allows a 30% pressure rate, and the Cardinals are top 10 in sacks per game. In Week 12 matchup, he was sacked 5 times, 254 yards, which is good, but 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Like I said, 12 PPR points. The last 3 games, the Cardinals ranked 17th in passing yards and have 10 sacks, which is ranked 3rd most in that span. And Geno hasn't scored over 15 points in 3 weeks. He needs to connect with DK Metcalf to score points. Until then, I pause Geno Smith.
Yeah, they're going against Arizona. JSN, his most reliable wide receiver, Jason, you saw his targets, double digit. He was relying on him so much. And then he went against Arizona, who has the best slot cornerback, or one of the best slot cornerbacks in the league. And yeah, dude, he got held to 7. I think he only had like 7 targets, maybe 9 targets. Can't remember, but it was 7 receptions for 77 yards. He did catch a touchdown, but still, man, this is a tough matchup. Arizona has been tough, dude. Like when I'm looking at all these yards given up over the last 3 games, Arizona, as far as the fewest. So yeah, dude, Geno Smith scares the shit out of me this week. I do not expect Arizona to be turning it around on defense this year.
Yeah, he gets the passing yards, man. That's not the issue, man. He does not get the touchdowns. He cannot.
And what you're saying is pretty crazy because he's got DK Metcalf, JSN. I mean, Tyler Lockett's been banged up, but it's 2 of the best. I mean, one of the best wide receiver cores and a offensive coordinator that's all he wants to do is throw the ball. Yeah. And he's got Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet catching the ball, so it's like, dude, you think that he'd be throwing more touchdowns?
Yep.
All right. Ever since Dave Canales left, Geno has not been the same. And then here we go, Jason. Oh, did I write that down? I did write that down. Let's see. I'm going into pauses. Speaking of Kenneth Walker, Jason, that's funny. I didn't know. I'm sure you sent me what you were playing and pausing. I didn't realize that. But hey, we're sticking to the same team, man. Walker. Oh. All right. So, but Walker, I didn't know this. Actually, I was supposed to put this on the news. There was an article that just came out like an hour ago, and it's like he's dealing with more health concerns. Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, man, because that guy's efficiency has been in the fucking toilet. In the toilet, Jason. Let's see. So Kenneth Walker versus Seattle, over and under 44.5. It's whatever. 16 rushes for 41 yards, 4 receptions for 52 yards, week 12 versus Arizona. So week 12, man, he had like, if it wasn't for his reception yards, he would have been a total dud, man. 16 rushes for 41 yards. Holy shit. Averaging 3.7 yards per carry on the season with only 1 100-yard rushing game. That was week 1. Arizona allowing the 3rd fewest rushing yards over the last 3. Only 71 rushing yards per game, Jason. They're doing better than Minnesota. Minnesota's like the 6th most now. 16 rushes for 41 yards last week. Okay, so he had 3 red zone rushes last week with 0 touchdowns. Charbonnet had 2 red zone carries, and he scored. So I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Kenneth Walker only had a 61% snap share last week, man. And Charbonnet had a 45% snap share. So terrible matchup, limited opportunities, Jason, terrible efficiency, and now I think he's dealing with more injuries than it's letting on. So Kenneth Walker, to me, man, I mean, if I owned him, I'd probably still play him on my flex, but I would hope to God for 10 points.
Dude, I'm looking here, man, like his snap share, he's 13, opportunity share 11 for quarterbacks. Like he's got some good stats, but dude, his red zone touches, he doesn't get the ball in the red zone.
Yeah, and it's he had like those, everybody thought he was going to be a steal just like last year, and then he fell off a cliff just like last year. I owned him last year. Everybody thought I was a genius.
The thing that was so great about him his first year was his explosive plays.
That's so funny. Yeah.
His plays of scoring, like 60, 70 yards out, and he hasn't done that the last 2 years.
Yeah, he was amazing, man. Setting up the second, he was always setting up the second level. But yeah, even on the Fantasy Pros, they were talking about he has had like lacking explosive plays the entire season. So
yeah, his just real quick, his explosive rating is 44th overall in running back. So that's crazy.
And that's not what you think about him at all.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, give me a wide receiver to pause on.
Okay. Just so that people know, we didn't really talk about our players. But Tyler, we're going to stay in the same game. And we're going to pause Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh, that's okay.
Actually, dude, I think this is my gamble of the week. Yeah, I think.
Because he had all those targets. They're trying to force feed him now.
Yeah. So, this is my gamble of the week. This is my riskiest pick of the week. Pausing wide receiver 25, Marvin Harrison Jr. He played against the Seahawks in week. I just put week, but I think it was like week 12. I think 3 receptions, 47 yards, 0 touchdowns on 6 targets. He had 7 PPR points. Seahawks defense dominated the Cardinals. According to player profiler, Devon Witherspoon covered Marvin on 94% of his routes, which is kind of weird. And Witherspoon allows just a 0.18 fantasy points per route run. But if it's not Witherspoon who's covering him, because I think Witherspoon's mainly in the slot, it's Rick Woolen, who allows a 0.21 fantasy points per route run. So those 2 options, I do not want to go up against them. They're good defenders. Seattle last 3 weeks are ranked 30th in wide receiver scoring. Allowed only 2 touchdowns, 28 receiving yards, or 28th in receiving yards, and 9 sacks, which is top 5 during that span. Marvin is getting third most. Oh, okay. He gets targeted the 3rd most in man coverage. At times, he gets like all the targets, right? Because like last week, he got 12 targets against Minnesota, I think it was, Tyler. But he only had 5 receptions. His catch rate on the season is 52%. He's touchdown dependent, and Seattle's not giving up receiving touchdowns or yards lately. So I pause Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, and you think that he needs big plays to really, stand out on your fantasy team. And guess what, man? Like, he's not going to have the time to throw because I want to say, at least Sports Radio has been talking about it. Leonard Williams had that huge game. Also, they're Byron something from Texas. I can't remember, but they got that first round defensive tackle. Their defensive line they started the year amazing. They all got injured, and now they're back and they're playing well, Jason. So I don't know about as far as deep passes, how much time there's going to be.
Yeah, Tyler, I'm glad that you brought that up. Seattle is actually 3rd in pressure rate. At 36% of the time, they're in the quarterback's face. That's how good their defensive line's been playing.
Yeah, dude, if they were healthy the entire year, they'd probably be number 1. Fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, so next up, Jason. Kraft, all right? That dude that, gets handies down there in Florida.
So there are other games this week. Okay, good. Yeah.
I thought you were trying to change the subject as soon as I said that, and you're all, there are other games this week, Tyler. Anyways, Tucker Kraft, man, versus Detroit. Who is giving up the fewest amount of points to tight ends right now, Jason?
I want to say the Lions.
Yeah, and it's like they are actually doing so well against the pass. It is kind of crazy. The over and under for this game, though, it scares me. 51.5. It is a divisional game. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. But all the people I wanted to target as far as pausing on tight ends are on bye. 4 receptions for 34 yards, week 9 versus Detroit. So, I mean, in PPR, he got you 7 points in week 9, and that's one of his more targeted games of the season. I should have wrote down how many targets he had, but it was a decent amount. And that guy is kind of up and down on targets. Detroit allowing the fewest fantasy points per game to tight ends, and they're allowing the 4th fewest passing yards per game over the last 3 at 175. So the opportunity for him to go off, Jason, is just not there. He better catch a touchdown to even get close to 10 points. So I don't know, man. It's just Detroit not allowing points, not allowing yards in general. And this guy is so up and down on his targets. It just scares me. And we just had a recent game where that fool was almost unstartable against this defense.
Yeah. Detroit's defense have improved a lot since last year. Last year, they had like historic, horrible offense, but they definitely improved, even with Hutchinson out. Like Jordan Love right now, again, in that game, I think it was like he only had 10 points that game. No touchdowns and 1 interception. So
right.
I'm looking like Jordan Love. If Jordan Love's not going to have a good game, don't expect anybody else.
And Dobbs is out, which kind of scared me. I mean, when I saw that, I was like, "Fuck!" But still,
yeah.
Maybe Dontavian Wicks will come through. They've got so many goddamn wide receivers.
Wicks, oh, I remember him.
He was a big deal for you must all those YouTube. You must get this player now.
That was one of them. I was very
No.
high on the guy. So it's like the dude's a great route runner, but now I know why he's fourth on the wide receiver depth chart because the motherfucker can't catch.
Yeah.
You can run all you want, but if you're not catching the ball, you're not going to play.
All right, Jason. I picked this dude up like after week 1. I rode him for a couple weeks, and then he lost me a couple weeks with great matchups. We went down to Jacksonville and sucked on it. You know, he sucked. I mean, it was not good. All right. So anyway, Sam Darnold. Now he gets Atlanta. Over and under at 45.5. I think I'm surprised it's not higher, but I think it's because of Kirk Cousins not playing so well lately. 3 straight games of throwing multiple touchdowns, Sam Darnold has. And those were against Tennessee, Chicago, and Arizona. Chicago, the best against quarterbacks. Arizona, 20th. But lately, they've been one of the top 5. So pretty much 2 bad matchups, with none of those being really good. And he's throwing multiple touchdowns. I like that. Let's see. So 2+ touchdowns in 5 of his last 6, if you even want to go back further. Atlanta allowing the 4th most passing touchdowns over the last 3, Jason, at 2.0. So it's lining up for him to throw multiple touchdowns again. Cousins is in the house. So Sam Darnold, man, he's going to be like, I've got to prove to the Vikings that I'm good. I've got to do it, man. So I like Cousins being there. I think that Cousins will overperform because it's a revenge game. Not really a revenge game, but, that's where he used to play for us. And then at the same time, Darnold wants to prove his worth. So I think it's actually both of them are going to be elevated a little bit. Atlanta, the 17th most passing yards over the last 3, which is whatever. But again, those touchdowns, they've been allowing a lot. The 7th most fantasy points per game allowed to quarterbacks, 18.8. And the big thing here, though, Jason, is Atlanta's really good against the run. So they're only allowing the sixth fewest rushing yards per game over the last 3. So their back end has sucked, man. They're giving up so much, but they are stopping the run. They're almost like a mirror image of the Vikings. So I like Sam Darnold throwing the ball a lot and getting a lot of yards, man. I love Addison and Justin Jefferson this week and Hawkinson. So yeah, Sam Darnold should be a smash this week.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to talk about, I mentioned Atlanta. They have one of the worst pressure rates in the league, if not the worst, and that's why I was targeting Justin Herbert last week for a play. He didn't do too well, but once again, if they can't get to Sam Darnold, I'll tell you this right now, Tyler. Sam Darnold has the best deep ball completion percentage. He's number 1.
No shit. Come on, Justin Jefferson.
So if you just give this guy some time, which offensive line can do, they're the home team. Are we going to see a big game Justin Jefferson or maybe Addison?
He's due, dude, man. I mean, Justin Jefferson's so due, and Addison.
Yeah. So this could be a good call.
Yeah, I like Darnold. If I didn't, I was thinking about starting him over Tua this week. I still have to think about it. Anyways, all right, Jason, give me a running back to play.
Oh, I was so happy when it was my week to do plays. Isaac Guerendo.
Isaac. Oh, my bad. I'm an asshole.
When we were going, like, when I was thinking, I was like, whose turn is it? And then I was like, oh, I do the play. I'm like, oh, bro, dude, there's only one option. The number 1 waiver wire pickup for this week.
I was thinking it was as a streamer, but then I shouldn't have done it. My bad.
No, you're fine, dude. You're further backing up me why we should be playing this guy. Okay, so we're going to play running back 63 Isaac Guerendo because he is the new starting running back for your San Francisco 49ers. Because there's no one else to play, Tyler. So you get the rookie who had the fastest 40 time for rookie running backs, which put him in the 99th percentile for speed. The 49ers earned the second most yards before contact at 1.59. The Bears allow 1.30 yards before contact, which ranks 12th worst for defensive linemen. So San Francisco 49ers, their offensive line, they get the push. They create holes for running backs to go through. I mean, we've been seeing it all year with Jordan Mason and Christian McCaffrey. And the Bears, they get bullied. They allow it. They allow getting pushed. The last 3 games, and the Bears allow the 10th most fantasy points to running backs. The last 3 games, Josh Jacobs, 23 points. Aaron Jones, 21 points. And David Montgomery had 15 points. Jahmyr Gibbs had 12 points. Isaac should be just fine, and I play Isaac Guerendo this week.
I agree, Jason. I mean, we just went over him on streamers too, my bad. But still, dude, as soon as he got drafted, as soon as he went to, I was looking at it wasn't he did not have a good 3-cone drill, which I did not like. But yeah, his 40, as soon as he went, I thought he could fill that Elijah Mitchell role and be a running back too. But yeah, dude, so he should be great, especially for a limited time. He doesn't even have to be good for 10 games straight. He's got to be good for 4 games, Jason. So
Yeah.
I think he can do that. And then next up, dude.
I just want to say, just think about that speed when you have 2 yards and not even getting touched by a defender. And already be at max speed, bro. Maximum. Okay,
Yeah,
go on.
I was surprised by that stat where you said that they're the 4th best or whatever best in getting yards before contact.
Yeah, they're second. They actually went up this past week.
Well, Jason, have you ever there was this roller coaster I always wanted to ride, Jason. It was called Riddler's Revenge. Well, this week it's Ridley's Revenge.
Ridley's Revenge.
Do you know who he's playing this week?
Yeah, he's playing against Jacksonville.
Yeah, do you know who cut his ass after giving him all that money last year?
Was it Jacksonville?
Yeah. So Ridley's Revenge. Heads are getting kicked off all over the place. I think that was that was Batman. I can't remember. One of those. Somebody always said somebody got decapitated. A kappa got decapitated. I keep like a football right off the head, right off the neck,
and it's good.
and it shattered the woman's shin bone into a million pieces.
Oh,
anyways, moving forward, over and under for this game is a putrid 39.5. Calvin Ridley, Jason, over the last 3 weeks, wide receiver 41, wide receiver 21. Last week, wide receiver 65. So not great. But Jacksonville is the cure to all his ails, Jason. 3rd most receiving yards over the last 3. 300. They're allowing, I thought this was interesting, exactly 300 yards, 0.00 per game. So exactly 900 yards over the last 3 games. 6th most receiving touchdowns over the last 3 at 1.7. So look for Ekine to get another touchdown as well. 2nd best, he is literally the 2nd best wide receiver quarterback matchup this week versus Ronald Darby, who's he's the left cornerback 92% of the time, so he does only cover one side. But Ridley plays that side most for the Tennessee Titans at 48% of the time. So he should have a huge week, Jason. 6 Flags, Magic Mountain, do not wear denim. You will have a rash in between your legs.
Oh, it's the one thing about living in Washington, dude. I miss his Six Flags.
There's a man in the back. It was like you get a Coke. It was like a Coca-Cola, and they're like, "Oh, you get a free buy one get one." It's like, and the tickets were like $20, dude, or 18. Yep. And now it's like I don't even know how the fuck. I mean, dude, it's probably hundreds of dollars now for all I know. Shit's crazy.
Remember the commercials with the guy with the old face? He was just dancing. Yeah.
Anyways, that is a show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have
it's not.
Oh shit, we got to cover this. Is what you're going to say?
Yeah. Can I do my tight end or?
Oh my god.
You cutting me out of the show already, dude.
I was like, oh shit! I forgot to tell people how bad we were last week.
You were talking about how like 30 cents. We giving people 30 cents if they sue us, and you're already cutting me out. You're like, damn, I need to double
give me. I'm so sorry, Jason. I got caught up, and I was like, yeah. All right, tight end to play, Jason.
This dude, tight end 5, Jonnu Smith. Isn't that crazy too that he is tight end 5? So the reason why I really wanted to go after this guy because it's the best against one of the best, or one of the best against one of the best, right? Jonnu Smith, tight end number 5. He's playing against the Jets, who are 28th in tight end scoring. They've only allowed 54 receptions to tight ends, which is 7th worst for tight end scoring, and only 2 touchdowns this year. In the last 3 games, they allowed 9 receptions to tight ends. Now, Smith is on a hot streak. Tight end 2 in 3 straight weeks. His target rate is 5th overall for tight ends. Previous 3 games, 11, 11, and 8 targets. In each game, he led the team in targets. Smith's ADOT is 23rd overall in for tight ends, but is 2nd in yards after catch. They set him up a lot for screens. That's actually how he has a couple of touchdowns this year, are from screen passes. Say it with your chest, Tyler. I play Jonnu Smith, and I'm not afraid of the Jets' defense against tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, dude, a lot of these stats, half of the season was when the Jets were good at defense. So, I mean, I'm sure they're probably like 10th best now. They're probably still all right. But Yeah, man. I think the important thing here is that it's at home, and 2 is always better in the warm weather. If it was up in New York, I would worry a little bit, even though he was in bad weather last week, but it was all garbage time. But still, Jonnu was the most targeted person in that cold weather as well. But I think that they're going to start off hot. It's not going to be a garbage. They're not going to have to depend on garbage time to get Jonnu the points this week. And all right, Jason, let's cover what we played and pause real fast. I forgot to write down what it is, but you'll just know, dude, when I say it. Remember when I was like, don't start Tua. It's 32 degrees. Why the fuck would you start Tua? I didn't. I started Matthew Stafford over him, and I regret it. Tua got 26 points or some shit like that, Jason. He was amazing. You said to pause Najee Harris. I'm pretty sure Najee Harris had his best week in a long time.
Yeah. Dude.
I said pause Jerry Jeudy because Surtain is in the. I thought it was insane in the membrane, and then Anyways, no other wide receivers gotten 10 points against Surtain. This fool gets 30-10. 30-10. I don't even know what that means.
He got like 46 points.
Jason, and then you said to pause Njoku, and it's like that fool got 2 touchdowns. And it's like, dude.
Yep.
Football was crazy last week. They didn't give a shit about your stats.
Do you remember the over and under for that game for the Broncos and Browns?
12?
Yeah.
Like,
Did not happen.
And then, hey, Jason, you said play Herbert against the Falcons, which is like one of the easiest. I thought that was like a low-hanging fruit. It ended up being bad. And then, hey, I did say start Rico Dowdle, Jason. That fool had 100 yards and a touchdown and some catches.
Yeah, he got over 20 points.
Woo! That was big. Garrett Wilson, Jason.
The gamble.
He was a gamble of the week, and Devontae Adams. I think Devontae Adams is just going to be the man on this team from now on.
He had a wide open touchdown. No one even around him that Aaron Rodgers threw over, man. And that was, I fucking punched myself in the foot when I saw that.
No, you were like that Sudoku or whatever. Sudoku. Anyways, and then Jason and I said to play Taysom Hill. That fool was going to be a good play until he got injured. So he's so old now. He's like messed up both his knees. He's going to need surgery. Yeah, I can't predict injuries, but at least my plays were okay. But yeah, our pauses, Jason, were the worst of all time.
Yeah.
Like, not only were we wrong, there were like top 3 people. It was insane.
Yeah. When you told me that in the text, I was like, dude, 4 of those like players were in games where 70 points were scored.
And yeah, man, it's like Cincinnati versus Pittsburgh was a shootout. Denver versus the Browns were a shootout. It's like, dude, what the fuck is going on around here?
What happened?
Anyways, that is the show. Thank you so much for watching. This is actually the end this time. If you actually did like the show, please give us a thumbs up. I'm having trouble speaking today, but that's okay. If you give us a thumbs up, man, it gives us a higher chance to go out to more computers, to be seen by more eyeballs. So that would help tremendously. Hopefully we earned that thumbs up. Hopefully we earned a subscription, man. We need subscribers. We were trying to get big over here, man. Big. So the more subscribers we get, the more people see our shit too. So that'd be amazing. Jason, more stuff is coming out. Please send us out.
The day after this video comes out, sorry, I'm like flexing, and I'm like, I think I pulled a trap muscle. Oh my god, it's cramping. That was not good.
They call him Krampus.
I got Krampus. Yeah, I got it, dude. All right, working out. New year, new me. Okay, we got a live show coming out on Friday. If you got some starter sit questions, hit us up. We'll be there. We'll be showing our rankings. I'll talk to you in that video. Deuces.
This is the Fantasy Red Zone, and we appreciate you.